Greta Schneider had always known she wasn't made for German city life. At 42, after 15 years as a bank manager in Düsseldorf, she woke up every morning feeling suffocated by gray concrete, endless traffic, and a mechanical routine that had drained the meaning from her life. Her painful divorce from Klaus 2 years earlier only deepened that emptiness. "You need a vacation, not a new life," her sister Emma told her during one late-night phone call. But Greta disagreed. "I look out the window and see only buildings, no horizon, no sky. I feel like I'm slowly dying here." That sense of existential claustrophobia pushed her toward international dating apps. She wasn't just looking for love, she was searching for escape. That's when Carlos Mendoza appeared on her screen one rainy March afternoon. His profile felt like a window into another world. A strong, dark-skinned 38-year-old man smiling beneath an endless blue sky, green fields stretching endlessly behind him. "Farmer and meat exporter," his description read. 10,000 hectares in San Luis, Argentina, seeking a partner to share a simple, authentic life away from urban chaos. Greta stared at his photos for nearly an hour. The contrast with her life felt unreal, almost fictional. Carlos's first message arrived 2 days later. There were no empty compliments, only a direct question that struck her deeply. Would she really give up everything for a simpler life? Or was it just a fantasy? Their conversations over the following weeks were unlike anything Greta had known. Carlos spoke of sunrises over the pampas, the rhythm of seasons, cattle grazing on land his family had worked for generations. Reading his messages at her sterile office desk, Greta felt a longing she had never known, not even with her ex-husband. After 2 months, Carlos made his proposal: come to Argentina, not as a tourist, but to truly experience farm life for a month. If she didn't like it, he would pay for her return ticket. Greta hesitated only briefly. Within weeks, she had booked her flight. Despite Emma's warnings, Greta felt something she hadn't felt in years: hope. When she arrived in Buenos Aires, Carlos was waiting, just as he had appeared in the photos. Warm, confident, and attentive, he drove her across changing landscapes until the city dissolved into vast open plains. The ranch was everything he promised: colonial-style buildings, endless fields, horses, and silence. Life there felt real. Greta learned to ride, work cattle, milk cows, and live with dirt on her hands. For the first time in years, she felt alive. By the third week, Carlos asked her to stay forever. He spoke of partnership, romantic and financial. He showed her books indicating over $500,000 in annual profit and explained how her savings could double production. Greta hesitated, but the dream was intoxicating. Under the Argentine stars, she agreed. Back in Germany, Greta sold her apartment, quit her job, and liquidated her savings. Carlos stayed in constant contact, reinforcing her importance. When she returned to Argentina permanently, she believed she was coming home. At first, life was fulfilling. Greta modernized the accounting systems, renegotiated contracts, and increased profits. Carlos praised her brilliance, but gradually inconsistencies appeared. Unexplained expenses, hidden transactions, and Carlos's growing control. He dismissed her concerns, insisting she didn't understand how Argentina worked. Then there was Sophia, a frightened 19-year-old Carlos claimed was his niece. Greta sensed fear in her eyes, silence enforced by terror. When Greta finally investigated Carlos's private office, she uncovered a horrifying truth. The farm wasn't a family legacy, but part of a massive criminal operation involving money laundering, forced labor, and human trafficking. Sophia and other women were not family, they were prisoners. Sophia eventually confessed everything. Carlos had done this before. Another German woman, Ingrid, had asked questions and died in a staged accident. Greta realized she was next. Using the last of her freedom, Greta contacted the German consulate, sent evidence to her sister, and prepared a fail-safe message. But Carlos returned early, with armed men. He knew everything. As screams echoed from Sophia's house, Greta fled. She escaped on horseback, chased across the pampas, crossing a river that saved her life. Hours later, soaked and terrified, she reached a police station and showed them the evidence. What followed dismantled an entire trafficking network. Sophia and other women were rescued. Ingrid's body was recovered. Carlos Mendoza was sentenced to 25 years in prison for human trafficking, money laundering, and murder. 3 weeks later, Greta returned to Düsseldorf, penniless but alive, She had lost everything material but gained something far greater: justice. And on a quiet Argentine field, a brown mare named Esperanza now grazes freely, living proof that courage can break even the darkest chains.